Here, welcome back. This is the discussion for 2.3. We had a couple of questions. The first one was on question 1, which I can understand why there was a question here. It is a little bit odd to look at this graph. I've tried to reproduce it here. It's not great, but it, I think, will illustrate what we're looking for. So the question on number 1 was, I don't know. Oh, there's a couple of things. It says the domain of the function, so this is some function f of x that's been drawn. And it says the domain of the function is all of the, and there's a pull down menu, that's the x values. And that's what domain is all of the x values that we can plug in and get a valid y output from. Right? So the domain is defined to be all of the x values. For which I can say, all right, I can plug that value in and get some y value out of it. Which is to say, in this one, this goes to 2. Again, sorry about this graph, it's not great. But any number between -4 and +2, there's values for those in between those two numbers, right? So it's just simply those x values. And that actually answers the question, what is the domain? The domain here is, since there's a closed dot at -4, that means I include it. There's a closed dot at 2, so my domain is -4 to 2 in brackets, including those endpoints, right? The other question is, what is the range? And the range is the y values, right? It's all of the y values, so in between -9, and it's weird because this kind of misses and goes above 1. But the range is all of those y values, and it doesn't just stop here, it keeps going over here, right? So the range is all of the numbers between -9 and +2. It's all of these numbers in here, there's valid, are a valid output, right? So the range here, this goes all the way down to -9, right? This goes all the way up to 2, so it's -9 to 2. Bracketed, and that's my range, right? All right, good. Let's look at also number 4 in this section. Number 4 is also a graph. So you'll have to bear with me for a second while I draw it. And I've got something happening here at, say, -1, I hit there, and I do something like this. Something like that, right? Again, it's not great, but here we are. Okay. That happens at -1. So the question is, when is the inequality true where j of x, where this graph is of j of x? Where is that greater than or equal to -1? Well, if I look at where -1 is, right, the y value of -1 happens here. Alright, so anything above this line or equal to this line is the solution. So we're talking about values in here, but not down there, but then again here. Right? That's where our solutions are, is this little interval and this little interval. And you can't tell by my graph because I graphed it terribly, but this interval here, go to the problem, it's section 2.3, problem, what did I say, 4? Yes. This happens at -2. And so I have between -2 and 0, inclusive, because it's an inclusive inequality. But then I have a break in my interval, and so I have a union, and then it happens again, this starts at 2. So pretend I could draw worth a dang. But it starts at 2, and goes until this thing ends, which happens at 3. And at 3 I have a closed circle here, and therefore it's closed, and therefore this is the solution to where that function is greater than -1. Okay, good. I'm sorry I can't draw better. All right, and then number 5. Let's look at that one. Another graph, super. All right. This one has an open, I'm going to just try to do a good job here. I have an open, let me throw these. At -3 and 1. And then it goes down, it touches up here, somewhere between here, somewhere right here. And then I have another open at 3, -2. All right, I'll do my best with this. All right, might not be great, but it's good enough. The question here is find the domain and the range of the function. We can do that based on what I have drawn. The domain again is all of those x values. So we're looking at all of the values on the x-axis where you can say look up or look down and you'll find a point, right? And that's everything between -3 and 3, but not the endpoints, right? Because they're open. So the domain here is from -3 to 3, but it's parentheses because we have an open, not included point, right? And then the range is just the y values, and so all of those y values happen between -2 and +2. And so my range is from -2 to +2. I'm not going to include -2 because there's not a valid output at -2. But I am going to include 2 because this goes up and touches there, right? And so this point is included. Therefore my range is half open. I've got an open on the left, a closed on the right, and so it's open to -2, 2, closed. Right? All right, good. Hopefully that was helpful. I will see you guys for the next section.